Good morning. My name is Kingsley. This morning I want to, you are welcome to Rhema Digest TV with Kingsley. This morning I want to talk about Bonny Island lockdown and its effect. Many people will be wondering, what is Bonny and where is Bonny? Is it a name of a person? Is it a name of a state? Is it a community? Or is Bonny? Bonny is not the name of a person. Bonny Island is not the name of a person. It's not a name of individual. It's a community. A community situated in River State. A little portion of island surrounded by Atlantic Ocean. And in Bonny Island, everything is imported into the town. It's a small portion of island. Everything is imported into the town. And there are a lot of companies, presence of companies here that is making the town to be bubbling. In Bonny Island, we have the presence of Nigeria NLNG, Shell, Petroleum and Mobil, Chevron Flow Station, and other companies here. So the major produce of Bonny Island is natural gas, natural gas. LNG, natural gas. They have it in abundance. God bless the island with natural gas. And with that, we have a lot of companies here working to break it down into other components to make it useful. And it's happening. Bonny is a very fine place. Is still in its raw state. Bonny is still in its raw state. Raw state in the sense that we can have a Dubai of Nigeria in Bonny because everything here is natural. Everything here is natural. When you talk about Bonny Island, you talk about natural. Everything here is still common today to see monkey jumping along the road in Bonny Island is common. It's still common to see big well, see shark wash out the seashore. It's still common. You can't see that in major cities in the world or in major islands in the world, but it's still common to see those things in Bonny Island. But March last year came with a shock to the residents of the island. March last year came with a shock, and the shock, a lot of us have not recovered from it. Many have not recovered from it. As I'm talking to you now, many people are still not stabilized like the way they used to be before the lockdown, because we have several phases of lockdown in Bonny, more than every other city in the upland. Yes, we have several phases. Aside the general national lockdown, we have state lockdown, we have communal lockdown, and it affected people and their works over here. What I'm going to share in this video is about the lockdown, Bonny Island lockdown, and its effects on the people. Bonny Island lockdown and its effect on the people. March 25th last year, though the COVID pandemic issues become a reality in Nigeria, February 18 or stuff like that, but March 25th, everything was on the shut down. Everything was shut down. People was asked to drop their stool. People stopped working. Most of the foreign vessels that used to come into the island stopped, and most of the exports that we do export from here, everything was on pending, waiting for the lockdown to be called off. And during that time, a lot of people lost their job because they were asked to go back to their houses that they will be called. But till date, some of them have not been called. A lot of people lost their job. A lot of companies, they can't keep their staff without paying them. They can't keep them in the house and also paying them. So they have to lay them off, to tell them, we are going to pay you off when the situation stabilizes, we'll call you. But in reality, not all of them will come back. And that is the situation we are facing on the island currently. As I'm talking to you now, Bonny Island became so quiet. It has been a quiet island in the past and previously, but it became so quiet that you can hardly see 50 people walking on the street. You can hardly see 50 people walking on the street. What is the cause of this? Just because, not because of the general or federal lockdown, the state lockdown. It came to a point where everybody have to leave overnight. Everybody have to leave overnight, leaving few people that want to travel in the morning, because the only means of transportation here to get into Bonny Island is through the sea. There is no road yet, but we believe in no distance time there will be road. But the only means of transportation into the island is through the sea. If you don't use the water, you cannot come into Bonny. So if you are water phobia, Bonny is not for you for now. If you are water phobia, Bonny is not for you. So we travel out and in into Bonny through the sea using local boats. Yes, local boats. Local boat, I mean, is not a canoe or stuff like that. No, all these engine speed boats, but we call them local boat, because even here on the island, we have a lot of means of transportation. We have the boat we call passport boats that look like mini yacht. We have a local boat, open heaven, and we have another one we call Cotonou boats. That one is basically cargo, carry things, food stuff, and other things that come into the island for people's consumption. Or if you want to move your load or ferry your things, you use the Cotonou boat. Those ones are like cargo boats. So here, during this pandemic and lockdown season, all the activities on the island was on hold. They were on hold. Nothing was happening. Nothing. No activities so far. So people started living in the island. A lot of people left the island, but that was not just the end. Before the lockdown, federal lockdown, work was still going on. Some company were still working. But when it happened that the vessels cannot move, the international vessels cannot move, and things changed. So it got to a point where you can't leave the town and you can't come into the town. And before you know, we have an incident that within that period where a specific species of fish die, more than 1 million pieces. One particular species of fishes died and they were washed ashore. So after that incident, we discover that there was an outbreak. I don't actually know up to today. We can't fathom or say this is the cause, but there was an outbreak that people started dying in their numbers. People started dying in their numbers. You see people, you wake up in the morning, you hear this. The mortuary was filled up that you don't have any access. You have to collect paper from the authority, security agency to cross the dead body. Some of them, you've buried them that day, waiting for the approved date to do the normal funeral rites. And it happened that a lot of things. So the state have to intervene. That time, the governor stepped in. Bonny was locked down statewide now. This time around, all the point of entry, the JTs were not working. Everything stopped. Everything stopped. It got to the point where the announcement was made around 9:30 p.m. People started traveling from midnight into 3 a.m. the next day. I wanted to travel the next day, being Sunday. I got to the JT. Before I would get to the JT, soldiers have surrounded everywhere. No movement. We were asked to go back. And things happened. Life became tough because we can't bring in anything. Even those selling food, they can't bring in food stuff. We can't buy or say money failed us. All of us in Bonny Island there, money failed us. You have your cash, fine. Banks were not working. You have your cash, but you cannot buy with your cash. So then we know the worth of a cup of Gary. And people were dying as a result of the outbreak of sickness. We don't know a lot of things. There were a lot of theory. Gas, this. We don't know. Nobody can say this is what happened. But people were dying in their numbers. And you know what? The effect of the lockdown started happening. Cultism started being on the rise. Stealing started being on the rise. You see people bug into people's houses just to steal food stuff. People bugging into people's houses just to steal food stuff. And you see some other young girls selling out their body, sleeping with men just to get a pack of Indomie. You see, those that have food stuff in their house, some people, what they now do, all these young girls, they will give them, okay, take these 2 packs of Indomie. They will sleep with them. And it was normal for the girls, some of them. It was normal because of hunger. Because of hunger. Then nobody wants to know whether you have money or not. All we are looking for is what to eat. Is what to eat. I personally bought a ball of tomato, just one piece of tomato, fresh tomato. I bought it for 100 naira. And I happened to buy it for 100 naira because the woman was having it as at that time. After that, there was no tomato. So I like a lot of frying. I like frying eggs and stuff like that. But I couldn't fry eggs anymore. You bought a seed of tomato for 100 naira and you don't know where to get the next one. Provision shop was locked down. No movement. Soldiers were patrolling the streets of Bonny, and you can't see anybody. You just sit in your house indoors. You look through the window, the streets were dry. So it wasn't easy. The negative effect on Bonny is still telling on people. Some of the residents lost their job. Up to date, they have not gotten their job back. Some of them lost their job. And some company left. They have not come back. Because it started from March, lasted till September. They have to do a partial opening. After the partial opening, it started again December, enter into 2021. Even as I'm talking to you, the place became open 3 weeks ago because a lot of people lost the means of their livelihood. Bonny lockdown was not a favorable one. Bonny lockdown was difficult. It was hard. It was hard. But you know, in the midst of it all, people develop skills, saving culture, getting food more in the house than you can get it elsewhere. You know, those that believe in money fell because a lot of people have money in their account, but they can't do anything with it. As at that time you are having money, fine, we know you have money, but you can't do anything with it. So money failed. Bonny Island, the effect is still telling on the people. A lot of people couldn't pay their house rent today because they love their means of livelihood. So I decided to make this video to let us know, wherever you are, anything you are doing part-time, be grateful to God about it. Be grateful to God about it. People have lost their job. People have lost their means of livelihood, but they are still grateful. But you, who have all at your comfort, appreciate God for that. There are people who are still believing God in Bonny today if they can get a security job. There are people who are still believing God today in Bonny if they can get a helper's job. But the jobs are not forthcoming. Not because there are no jobs. The companies that are supposed to employ have not been recalled back to sites. So the little they are doing now, maybe housemanship, putting their sites in order, putting their tools in order, they have to drop down the staff number and staff strength. So in all you're doing, always appreciate what God has given to you part time. Bonny Island lockdown is not easy, and the effect is still telling on the people in the island till today. So wherever you are, appreciate what you have. And we have some lessons that we have learned from here on the course of planning. Plan yourself. Don't allow event to take you unaware. Don't allow event to hit on you. Always plan yourself part time. And as you plan yourself, you will see that no matter the condition, there will always be a means of escape for you. So plan yourself, and I'm looking forward to see you next on my video. You're welcome. Thank you and have a good day. Bye. Peace out.